Some of the emerging markets in East Africa are good examples to look at, which may offer the most potential for growth. Nigeria is a good model as well to examine as a market which could be primed to take off. South Africa is worth mentioning as well. It's far more mature compared to the rest of the region, but it certainly offers opportunities in terms of new platforms of convergence and providing opportunity for new business models to drive growth. Looking forward, the key trends which should drive the transformation in the industry will be increasing local content production, digitalisation process is very important, and new platforms, convergence, and improved network infrastructure should really shape the market in the coming years. So let's go back to the first point, which is the immaturity of the market at present. Of around 150 million households in sub-Saharan Africa, we estimate that around 38 million actually has a TV set. So we're looking at very low penetration of around 25%. You compare this to somewhere like Asia Pacific, the penetration rate's near 80%. So it's very underdeveloped, but of course it means there's a real potential there. It's a huge untapped market. It's increased from, as you can see on this graph, around 38 million in 2005, so about 7 million TV households have been added in the past 5 or 6 years. And as you can see, our forecasts are not, we're not anticipating huge growth in the short term. It's not going to really soar away in any time soon, but it's still a positive outlook. The conditions are right, and the market is headed in the right direction. So hopefully this slow and steady growth will continue, and as the market expands, we just see exponential growth in the longer term. So let's look at paid television. Again, it's a very underdeveloped market. There's around 6.5 million pay TV subscriptions across the region. Or I was just talking to Sylvain, he estimates the figure to be slightly higher, perhaps 7 million. But either way, penetration is very low, perhaps it's 15% of the television households. This is largely due to lack of developed network infrastructure. There's no very little cable for reasons of it's not cost effective to roll out cable networks, so the market's reliant on DTH satellite broadcasting. It's also dominated by one key player, the multi-choice operator. Really dominates the market. It has around 5 million subscribers, or it was reported to have around 5 million at the end of March this year. It does further show that there's an appetite and there's the potential for pay TV operators to grow. It's certainly its dominance perhaps does limit growth as there's a lack of competition, but it at least demonstrates that there is serious potential there. So if we look at some of the alternative operators, here in South Africa, On Digital Media have Top TV with around 200,000 subscribers. Zuku TV in East Africa, Uganda and Kenya offers cable services in the urban areas in Kenya. It has around 20,000 subscribers. Has around further 20,000 subscribers in Uganda. They're on satellite networks, and it's targeting 100,000 within 2 years. And Canal Plus operates in Western and Central Africa, estimated to have around 400,000. Zap TV launched in Angola last year. That's reached about 90,000 subscribers now, so that's quite a strong growth there. So there are alternative operators. There's competition emerging for multi-choice. Particularly low-cost platforms are popular. The StarTimes network it launched again quite recently last year. It serves around 400,000 subscribers in Nigeria and a further 200,000 perhaps in East Africa. So that's seen very strong growth and represents demonstrates rather the potential for low-cost low-cost alternatives. So let's have a look at a couple of specific markets within the region where there's strong potential. Nigeria, of course, is the largest in terms of population. It also has relatively high TV household penetration compared to the rest of the region, somewhere around 50%, so about 10 million households. It's a market which demonstrates the significance of and the importance of foreign investment. As I mentioned earlier, the Chinese-backed StarTimes digital terrestrial network has had quite strong success so far, signing up around 400,000 subscribers. ITV was a competitor, and its sort of challenge has faded since the loss of key content rights to the English Premier League soccer. So that's an interesting model. I think Nigeria it's a market that could be set to take off in the near future. Another market to look at is East Africa markets. As I mentioned before, we have Zuku TV, backed by the Béletre Group, which is offering cable in the urban areas in Kenya. It offers triple play services over its cable network. It also provides DTH services in Uganda. The region has strong regional integration, which is a major strength. So the countries of Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda all have potential, but the region as a whole, I think, it certainly offers strong potential for growth. There's certain figures there which we estimate that the multi-choice subscriber numbers, perhaps 124,000 in Kenya, 70,000 in Uganda, 60,000 in Tanzania, so 250,000 in total. So the pay-TV market there is fairly mature, relatively speaking, compared to the rest of the region, and the diversity of that particular region should offer should help to see growth within that market. So there's two examples of markets within the region that could offer some real potential in the short term. Content is a big issue. Local content is high demand for local content, and the industry is fairly underdeveloped. At Kenya, it's a good example here that I've got, where we're seeing a lot of local content that